Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Mode. Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel. And I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about the direction of positivity and negativity. The direction of it. Now, we know everything that you're consciously aware of is things that you can see in the yang realm. Things that's in the subconscious is things that you can't see. So it's subconscious. It's not conscious. It's subconscious. So even though you can be consciously aware of it, it's in a sub place, a place apart from what's in front, which will be the physical. So if you could go to my last videos and you will know how to direct yourself in the yin realm. Same way how you direct yourself in the yang realm, you move forward. Same way you direct yourself in the yin realm, in the internal realm. You feel forward. You see what I'm saying? So, since positive and negativity, we can see external representations of it. But if you want to know the actual direction it's flowing in the astral realm, I'm going to tell you this. Now, positive is moving up. I know it's moving forward. It's not moving up. That's another video. We have certain energy fields that move just like time. Time based upon, now look, everything is relative to where we're at. So we're on this plantation. We're in this big, shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas that preceded us here. So we're in this right now. We're in Earth right now, right? So based upon where we're located at relative to space and everything we're around, the energy force of time itself, relative to us, is moving like this. They're gonna say it's linear, but it's not linear. Everything is a vibration. So it's moving side by side. So we can say in our realm it's moving left to right. See, if we was in another planet, relative in another location, it could be moving diagonally, it could be moving up and down. Based upon where we at, though, it's moving, you know what I'm saying, side to side as vibrating, left to right. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about positive and negativity. Now, these energy flows is what created the totem, each totem toe of the vibration scale. But it's a higher being itself in a higher density. So it's moving through the universe the same way everything else is moving. So positive and negative, because you can go to my video explaining the overall, and I tell you how everything is created, how it came before all that shit. But when we look at positive and negativity, based upon our location and where we at, it's moving forward and backwards. See what I'm saying? It's vibrating forward and backwards. This is our totem pole based upon where we're relative. The being positive and negative themselves, how they're traveling to us based upon where we at is backwards and forward. So same way relative to someone who live on another planet or another solar system, it might be moving up and down. You know what I'm saying? Or left or right. See what I'm saying? Or in their time maybe moving diagonally. But in our perspective, time is moving left or right, it appears, and positive and negative is moving forward and backwards. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into the videos moving up and down and shit like that, but positive and negative is moving forward and backwards. Now, you're going to be like, why is this? Now, I'm going to show you, because everything plays out in some form of physicality, because everything is frequency, vibration, energy. Everything is gas, liquid, solid. Everything is spirit, soul, body. So, this is what you need to understand. At some shape or form, even if something is physical, it might not be physical in your dimension, in the third dimension, in 3D with this 360, but it might be physical in a higher dimension. So you can just walk through it here, or you're just in it here. You see what I'm saying? But this is how you know the direction of it. Now, we're going to talk about the physicality first, so you can kind of get a clear perspective. When you're moving forward in life and how it plays out is you're actually accomplishing something. So in your physical representation plays out as you getting things done. You're overcoming something, right? You're doing things to get things done. When you're in a space where you get frustrated, it's because you're not moving forward. And if you created a lot of things that you have to carry with you, would create stagnated energy as far as like kids or bills or responsibilities and things of that nature, then these forms of holding you back. So that in the yin realm, this would be a form of moving backwards. Or this would be a form in the yin realm, and this is what it is. It'd be a form of moving backwards. It'd be a form of or staying stagnated or something keeping you in place. Right? So we get the physicality, right? Now, let's look at it in the yin realm perspective now. Let's look at the now how we know positivity and negativity is moving forward and backwards is because of this. Because of this. Now you need to look at all words, languages as portals. And the positive and the negative spectrum is going to let you know what direction it's moving in. So, all right, let's use a positive energetic force and compare it to a negative energetic force, so you can understand how positive and negative move in the yin realm, in the internal realm. Okay, let's say I'm ready. You wake up and you say Be careful with all words. You got to look at them; they're like portals, and you travel through that timeline. Words are like line of events, and the more you connect, the more sentences, paragraphs you put together, the more construct and realm of reality you create for yourself in front of you. And these things become physical in all dimensions. The highest dimension, it'll play out as an idea, and it'll slowly bring itself down. This is how all things, how you even brought yourself into the physical form. You know what I'm saying? To take a body. It all does that. You know what I'm saying? Play as an idea, circumstance, situation, location, person, place, thing, physical in your life. You see what I'm saying? Now, now say I'm ready. But say you're ready. Now say you're on the positive energy of saying I'm ready, right? Then you're going to experience that ready timeline. So you're going to experience all kind of line of events that deals with readiness, whether you know it or not. Now, this is going to depend on how much you're consciously aware, because it's going to come in many different shapes and forms. And based upon what you cling on to or what you're constantly into, and based upon your basic idea amongst things, you can either pass up things or walk in or walk into what you're ready to, or you could have the ability to pass up what you're ready for. And here's why. Because of the things you into, the stuff you watch, the people you hear, and certain outlooks on things. So say I'm ready, and you got some, say for an example, you got to imagine, say you ready. Say you want to get this job, right? And you wake up every morning and say I'm ready. Now I'm ready. The energy behind it, you putting towards it, is you wanting to get a job, right? Which that's negative in general, but that's another video. Is you want to get a job though. But say the energy of why you want to get a job is the outlook of it is a bunch of positive things to you in your life. If you was to get this job, you could do a bunch of things that could pertain to some positivity in your life. So that force that you emitting is being pushed in the positive, right? So now, this is how we're going to know it's moving back and forth in the astral realm, based upon our location. Because now you're going to, now listen, readiness is just an energy. It don't care how you look at it, it's just an energy. So it's going to come in many different ways, shapes, and forms in your life to see how much is you actually ready for. And based upon your interactions and how you relate to these situations and your resistance or how you follow through with these situations is how God and the universe going to know how much you actually ready for. And you may be doing one thing and be like, damn, I'm still not getting it. I'm ready. And you not getting it is because God and the universe know you're not ready. So be careful what you ask for. You see what I'm saying? Because God is always going to come in some way, shape, or form to show you your boundary and limit. You know what I'm saying? The nothing, the no thing is always going to come into something in some way, shape, or form. And it's always going to look like whatever you're into and whatever you're trying to figure out and you gain information about, because you went in that form of nations and you had to figure your way out of it for any form of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So now, when you it's going to come, that readiness energy, when you said I'm ready, it's going to come in many different shapes and forms. It may even come out in a shape or form and play out through a person, place, or thing that play out as a situation or an experience that remind you of an experience you didn't want to experience, that you don't want to experience again. It may come in a shape or form or way, or it may come through a person, place, or thing or a situation that plays as a representation of an experience you don't want to experience. So you end up not going through that thing to get the milk and honey. You end up not going through that thing to get what you was ready for. So you end up trying to go around the obstacle, shape, and form other than going through it. Like I was saying through my video before, your soul sit in the middle, your spirit is up top with the collective all, and your body is the physical. You see what I'm saying? See, people have to understand when we talk about the spirit, it's connected to the overall spirit. So when you saying I'm doing something, I'm about to do something, and if you got a person next to you saying I'm about to do something, you need to realize that that's just the overall realizing itself in a vessel, and it's the overall saying, okay, I'm about to do something like this, or I'm about to do something like this, and we're just playing it out through. We think it's separate, but it's just the same. But it's just the one spirit playing out through how that spirit is being played out through that vessel. For an example, I made myself a brain around my shapeless, formless, odorless gas in a way different than your way. That's why you got a different natal chart. You got a different kind of brain than me, right? So the overall spirit can play both of these. They like, okay, I got this body and I got this body. All right. So I could do these things. I could bring these people together. I could destroy, you know what I'm saying? But we looking at it like we set, you see what I'm saying? It's not that. This is where people get the religious concepts wrong and things of that nature. But this is what you have to understand also. So this is why the spirit is the frequency, the idea. Anytime a spirit goes into a realm of reality, it becomes an individual. That spirit becomes a soul, a source, right? And this experience now, this experience in a time, an age, or whatever, then it gets to experience it within the body it created for itself, which is the physicality of it, the fluids in the vessel that it created itself over. The sperm being made out of a body. Sperm is not the spirit. See what I'm saying? Because that wouldn't make sense. Because if that's the case, then when you die, why ain't your living sperm going into another person physically? You see what I'm saying? And then you would have to say that you and your child and however your kids was in your father, and then your father, how many brothers and sisters they have was in they, and then it's just a whole gay ass man religious outlook again. You see what I'm saying? So you have to get out of that. Because I see that's where the world trying to come to. Nah, I need to get out of that. That's a religious text. The sperm is a spirit. It's all backed by religious text. Now, but look, when we talk about the spirit in general, it becomes an individual as a soul, some form of fluid, motion, vibration, source. Then that's when it becomes an individual. But that's only when it's in the realm of reality. As its own shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas to become a liquid or to go into a realm of reality where it takes the elements in that location in space and build a body around itself in order to sustain itself. Then once you do all that and that travels, that could take a 1,000 years from your perspective in many different vessels that you build. And then in evolution, you end up getting more body parts for yourself. When you transform from that body piece, you can inhabit a bigger vessel. You go into a bigger being. You see what I'm saying? And be able to build a bigger brain, a bigger mind, a bigger body around yourself and come out into a bigger world to be able to sustain that based upon that travel as a bigger shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas. That's what your spirit conscious is. You see what I'm saying? Now, we go into details in that in my past videos. But what we want to talk about as far as the soul experience, the body is going through the experience, and the spirit is the idea in the line of events that's going to be experienced. You see what I'm saying? So that's the frequency, vibration, and the energy. So when we want to talk about going through a situation where you say I'm ready, and then you receive any way, shape, or form of that coming to you, it may come in a shape or form that you didn't want it. So if you ain't consciously aware enough, you're not going to be able to see that you were supposed to go through that in order to get what you was ready for. Same way, like I said, the soul is the experience. So the soul is like dumb. It's just experiencing and building a body for itself every time. The spirit is like, look, man, you can go straight through the bridge. You can go straight through that shit. The soul is just going to experience the shit. The body is going to be in the dimension with that brain and seeing that dimension to see what it can or can't do. Now, the body is supposed to have faith and listen to the spirit, but the body has to go through the soul first, right? Through how does it feel? The vibration about it, right? Then the soul receives that information to the frequency, to the spirit. So once the spirit gets that vibration, the spirit like, listen, you can go. If the body, and then if the emotions is being between worlds. It's like your physical is the devil, and your spirit is the angel, and your soul is you. Your moon sign, whatever you want to call it, your mind, your soul, your emotions, feelings, your vibrations, and you. And it's being torn in between. Your earth, your demon, your devil, which is your body, your physical, is looking and saying, nah, man, we can't walk through there. We need to take a shortcut. There's too many cars and shit to walk straight through there. We might get hit by a car. We could do this, we could do this, we could scam, we could do all kind of this, take shortcuts. The spirit is like, nah, go through that shit. No matter how hard it look, listen, I can see you could get there a lot faster if you just go through the cars and shit like that. And the cars don't appear the way you think it look in your dimension. I'm higher up here, I can tell you. You get there a lot faster if you just go through. Now your soul is there to experience and to pick a side. Your soul, either you're gonna have the emotions and feelings to be like, man, fuck that, I can go through this shit, I can get through this situation. Or you're gonna have a weak soul and be like, nah, I need to take a shortcut. I need to do this. I need to use this language. I need to scam. I need to take this type of shortcut. I need to go around. And end up getting there end up taking way longer to get from point A to point B than if you would have just listened to your spirit. And then what's fucked up is we in a society when everything is predicated towards the physicality. So you taking shortcuts, they put a lot of things in those shortcuts in that when you walk that area, they put a lot of things and Easter eggs in that area to when you go through that shortcut, you actually think you got somewhere. You actually think you're getting somewhere far based upon the Easter eggs that you're picking up along that travel. But what you're actually trying to get, you don't realize it's taking way longer for you to get there. But you end up getting lost on the shortcut path and never going where your true path was at. You end up getting lost on the shortcut path because all the things and all the new paths that you start seeing on the shortcut paths and start to seem easy and start to seem like shortcuts and start to seem like you're going somewhere when you're really truly going nowhere. You're getting lost and more lost from your original goal, your original direction that you were supposed to go. And if your spirit go too far that way, then you're going to be lost here in this realm. When the original direction was the way out of it. You got lost in taking them shortcuts and thinking that was an original path after that. Because it was Easter eggs in that shortcut that show representations of the goal of your original goal. And it really wasn't. It was like baby feeding and shit like that. Shit's crazy. You know? But when we talk about positive and negative, right? When you say I'm ready, when you receive these obstacles, and they're going to come in many different shapes and forms. And your ability to catch them and go through them and let you give you the energy of, oh, I'm moving forward. I accomplished something. So that lets you know the positive is moving forward. Because anytime you walk forward in the physical realm, or you feel like you're moving ahead, or you accomplish something, you feel like you're moving forward in life. So when things are happening positive in your life, you correlate it to those things. Right? So you have no choice but to understand that in the astral realm, and if you had the brain of the body you was in, which is the planet you in, then you will realize that if you looking at positive and negative as a being and it's traveling, and based upon your location, it's traveling forward and backwards. The same way in our location, time is traveling side by side, left and right. So we got a bunch of crosses and shit going on here. You know what I'm saying? This is why positive and negative a lot of times ain't correlating with your time, because you could be lost in the past or lost in the future, right? But the future that you lost in don't have nothing to do with you moving forward or moving backwards. The past you stuck in don't have, the past, it has something to do with you moving forward or backward. It doesn't have nothing to do with it being positive or negative. The past you stuck in doesn't have nothing to do with it being positive or negative. You see what I'm saying? In the astral realm, because they crossing paths, they're not on the same path. If time in this location, if time was moving forward, the same way positivity was moving forward, then it would appear that when you look at time is future. Then it would appear that looking towards the future be correlated with looking towards positivity. But let's say you a person who has school and someone say, wait till we go outside, I'm gonna beat your ass, right? So you looking at like the movie The Wood. I was watching the movie The Wood and shit, and dude was looking at the clock because Stacy was about to beat his ass because she said she was about to tell her brother, why you touch her butt? Why Mike touch her butt and shit? So he looking at the time. So he's thinking about the future, but the future he's thinking about is a negative future. So you see what I'm saying? He was thinking about the future, so he could have been thinking about a positive future when he touched her ass, or he could have been thinking about a negative future when he was about to get her ass beat by her brother Stacy. But we know they're not. That's how we know they're not going the same direction. Because if they was going the same direction, then it don't matter in this realm of reality. If he was thinking about something positive, it would have no choice but to feel like he's moving forward also. Or if he's thinking about the future, he will have no choice but to think about something positive. To think about something positive. The negative annotation wouldn't even be there. But just the simple fact that he has the ability to think about the future and think about a negative future, or you could do it in the past. You could do this analogy and vice versa. Already let you know that these two beings is going in separate directions, and based upon where we located at, we can correlate what direction they're going in the astral realm. We know time is going left and right as a vibrational pad, and we know positive and negative is going forward and backwards as a vibrational pad in our perspective. Now this is how we know the negative is going backwards, because think about this. Now think about you saying you ready, or you thinking about a negative situation. You get up and say, man, I'm broke, right? So you're going to experience a bunch of different shapes and forms and ways in your life to show you how broke you is. And based upon how much you agree with it, like I said, it's whether you're going positive or negative, these energies don't give a fuck about you. It don't give a fuck about how you look at it. It's just going to go with the energy. So however one you going with it. So whatever one you're going with, once you prove to God and the universe how much you can handle, that's how much you're going to receive. So I did that on the ready analogy. Now we're going to do this on this you saying I'm broke analogy. Now get this. And then that's a negative thought, right? Now, and I'm about to show you how this is going backwards. Get this. Now the universe is the same way as positive. It's going to come in different ways, shape, and forms, and play through people, places, and things to show you how broke you is. Because when you broke, what happens? You start seeing how much shit you can't buy. You start understanding what you can't do, right? So now you show the universe and God how much of that energy you can handle. See, words is energy fields. Now you can handle more brokenness. Now you're going to see more shit you can't buy. More people, places, and things that come into your life that remind you that you can't get through. I mean, you can't buy or whatever like that. Now, since that's a negative energy, what do that make you feel like? You're not moving forward. You're moving backwards. You stand stagnated. It makes you feel like you got to get up and do something. If you're not making money, you feel like you got to get up and get a job. It makes you feel like, so what is that? That's moving backwards. What happens when you got a good job and then you get up and quit because of whatever happened at work, and you tell somebody that you quit? What they going to say? Damn, dude, you moving backwards. Damn, girl, you moving backwards. Don't they say that? You was doing everybody hair the shit at the nail salon, at the hair salon. You fucking doing making all the money, taking everybody's seats. People come in and wait till you to get done with 10 people already in line, and it's already 5 booths open, and these chicks can't get no clients if they life depended on it, cause of they hair fucked up. They bum ass lace fronts, cause they ain't want no smoke, cause it was a lace blunt. You see what I'm saying? So, you got all the customers, right? So you start getting all this hate at work. You end up getting into a fight at work. So you quit, or you get fired from your good ass beauty salon job, and you go tell somebody what happened. They know, like, then what they tell you moving backwards, right? Now, that's a negative energy, right? So what do that tell you? In the astral realm, negativity is moving backwards. So anytime you do something negative, you're moving backwards in some way, shape, or form. In some way, shape, or form. If you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, in some way, shape, or form in the astral realm, you're moving backwards, or you're in some stagnated type of energy. You're moving backwards. And if you stuck in one spot and being stuck in a habit or in a certain rotation and you don't feel like you're moving forward, you're in a stagnated energy. So that's how you know negativity is moving backwards. Positivity is moving forward, because anytime something positive happens in your life, you feel like things is getting accomplished. You feel like you overcame something. You feel like you moved forward. You jumped over a hurdle. Even if you gotta beat somebody ass, you beat somebody ass because they was getting on your motherfucking nerves. After you beat their ass, you feel like you overcame that shit, right? Shit. So even though that was a negative situation that brought you back, it brought you back in some energy that was childish. But to shut their motherfucking ass up so they can leave your motherfucking ass alone at work. That was a positive circumstance. You made positive out of it. So you move forward from that motherfucker gonna leave you the fuck alone now. She gonna leave you the fuck alone now. Shit. See what I'm saying? And that's how that's how the shit motherfucking works. So we know in this realm of reality, positivity is moving forward and negativity is moving backwards. And we know time is moving left to right. And we know the future is moving towards the right. This is why everybody trying to look at it as lineage, and we know the past is moving towards the left. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going left field. You know what I'm saying? We could all be sitting here talking about business and shit like that, and somebody want to come and bring up some memory, some emotions and feelings and shit. Niggas gonna be like, damn, where the fuck that come from? That was left field. We talking about this right now. You just brought that up, aka brought that up. It must have been in the past. It came from the left. You see what I'm saying? Your brain had no choice, no other word to use. Period. You know what I'm saying? And when you in the present, this is how you know you in the middle. You in the middle of things, because you in the here and now. So you just moving in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Positive and negative is moving forward, backward. You know you in the middle, because you in the here and now. So you have to move forward. You have to move backwards. When we talk about the time, you have to the future. You have to live righteous. But if you want to live in the past, you have to live opposing to everything. So to live opposed, you're not moving forward with shit. You're going the opposite direction. See, there's no other words to use. But you always in the center. You got your center. You got your 360 spin you can do. You got your center. That's why it's always important that anytime you finna get into a conversation with somebody, you finna do something, you finna go to work, you finna go to court, anytime you about to do anything, do a motherfucking 360. And make sure in that 360, you got all your feelings and emotions and ideas and thoughts of what you want to happen. So when you do that 360, your web in the astral realm spin off and detach from all the timelines of everybody else that's relating to that same circumstance, because they in the location in the same situation you is. So you spin off all those so you don't have to experience those timelines, and then you gain more mass to experience more and more of your timeline obstacles. And then within these frictions, within these relating situations, and when you responding to the circumstance and the people, places, and things within these situations, then that's gonna build on what's actually being created and what's not. But your willpower, as long as your willpower is there, then more your form is going to be created. And the more you know how to resist, the more you're going to be able to build your idea, and your currency within this field. You know what I'm saying? But in this lifetime, man, everything is a direction. Don't let nobody tell you it's a direction in all around. You just have to know how to look at it. Ain't nothing mysterious. See, that's the thing. They make you want to learn history instead of mystery. See, mystery is my story. See, but you blinded by ego. Because when I said my story, you sat there and looked at it like, oh, this guy talking about his story. No, you said. You say mystery. Say mystery like my story. What you gonna say? You gonna say my story? Yeah, you talking to yourself. And then say history. This is where they fuck you up at. Say history. You're really saying his story. History. But you see how they confuse you? And how they make you look at the ego, and how humanity and all this, we real brothers and sisters. They turn us against each other by little shit like that. So when I say shit like that, like when I say shit like fuck history, appeal to mystery, and then when I say shit like mystery means my story, so you need to pay attention to my story, you automatically have the energetic force to feel like, oh, he talking about his story. It make you say his story off the bat, or her story, or it make you feel like, oh, he's trying to say we need to learn him or learn what he's saying. Well, nah, I'm telling you, you said for yourself. And how does it sound? My story. It sounds like you saying for yourself. My story. Right. Mystery. We need to learn. We need to start learning my story. We need to get out of history, because we got us thinking that's us. See, now if I would have said fuck mystery, you need to learn more about history. And Now you subconsciously in your mind thinking, oh, that was the right thing to say. Yeah, we do need to learn about history. Fuck mystery. We don't know what mystery is. We need to learn about history. You hear what you said. So you saying, this is what you said. You said, fuck my story. We need to learn his story. So you already subconsciously trained to look at something outside of yourself, externally, but in a literal way. You see what I'm saying? It's like it goes deep. Not just a person could come tell you, oh yeah, history, that means his story and my story means my, no, but can they really break it down to why that's affecting? It's affecting just by saying it. It's a portal. So all the times we say, oh no, we need to appeal more to history, it's a portal. And everybody who go through that portal gonna find themselves doing nothing but going back and trying to find his story or her story, somebody else's story, to the point that y'all went so far back y'all don't even know who wrote Genesis. So y'all saying it's the word of God. Who fucking wrote Genesis? God didn't write Genesis itself. You see what I'm saying? So when people say, oh, you have to do your history, y'all trying to find the motherfucking nigga who wrote Genesis. I think they want to say Moses or whatever like that, but who wrote Moses' story? You know what I'm saying? So you're just gonna find yourself going to her story or his story. When if you go through mystery, which is my story, you find mystery, and then they made you think and believe that it's something that you will never know. So this is why you're in that portal. When you don't appeal to mystery, you don't truly know yourself. You don't truly know my story, your story. You just only know his story. So anytime you go teach, or anytime you go learn, or anytime you go debate, you're telling somebody about his story. No, what about your story? What about my story, bruh? Let's find that. And we find our story through mystery. And the more and more we learn mystery, the more and more we learn our story. But see, mystery goes deep because it goes within. Because if you want to learn yourself, my story, you can't go outside of yourself, his story or her story. You can't go outside. My story is inside because it's my story. How you gonna know my story if I don't tell you? So I have to bring it within, outside. So it's my story. So we know right here, reason why they don't like that is because the only way to know my story, which is mystery, we gotta appeal to mysticism. My nisms, my organisms. Mysticism. See what I'm saying? Mystic. My shit. You gotta pay attention to my shit. Say that. Don't that feel good? Why scientists trying to make us pay attention to her story, his story? No, we need. Let's pay attention to mystery, my story, my shit. You know what I'm saying? We did my shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's pay attention to my shit. What's going on with me? You know what I'm saying? And everything will hit us. We will know ourselves. We will be in that portal. We will be in that energy vibration. So even if we do start off on that path lost, at least that location is in the right direction. So at least we will be walking the right direction. Everything is portals. When you say something and you say, I'm about to do that, that's a portal. And all shapes and forms is going to come in that way to show you that you're on that portal. And whether how much you resist or how much you apply or go through those shapes and forms within those portals is going to let you know how far you can go through that portal, how much you can receive that portal. And if you can't handle it, no thing, God will come in a shape and form and let you know that you can't handle it. And God ain't gonna look like how you think it's gonna look. It's gonna look like the shit you always been looking at. It might even look like the shit you claim you think is God that you don't even believe. Money is your God, nigga. Money is your God. If you in a relationship, abusive relationship, that person is your God. So God might just, so the real God might just have to come in, not might, it will come in that shape, way, or form to show your ass that I'm here and you're reaching a boundary and a limit that you may need to learn how to overcome or back your ass up a little bit and do some regrouping and recuperate. See what I'm saying? That's God. God ain't gonna look like, see, God is everything. So it ain't gonna look like what you think it's gonna look like outside of you. It's gonna look like something you looking at every fucking day. Because God got that power. God is the biggest, shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable, everything. So anything you see that's a shape or form or whatever like that, God can take that. So don't be holding on to nothing. You holding on to money shit, you holding on to shit, gotta take that. You don't even hold on to people. You doing that person a disjustice. Because that person is living life every day, going out doing shit for you, and you holding on to that person so tight, gotta come in some way, shape, or form and take that motherfucking person away from you. And it was your fault. And it was that person's fault too. Because that person, God came in that person's life in a way, shape, or form also to let that person know that you being exhausted by this person. Hey, if you don't relax and get away a little bit, hey, I will take your ass. You don't need religion or any type of anything to know God. God is in your face. Believe that. And and the thing is, God will come in your religion to fix your ass. But I don't give a fuck. Even if you were atheist, God will come in your motherfucking atheism ass mind, and He will come in some type of evolutionary particle or shape, and He will come in that, and God, He or she, it will come in that way to show your motherfucking ass is here. Whether you want to say it's that or not, it'll come in the name that you give it. You will come up with some big ass bright scientifical name to think you came up with something that ain't nothing but God coming in another way, shape, or form, the best way it could come to you. That's it. You need to know that. This is why God ain't a male or a female, because it could take both of those shapes and forms. It ain't God ain't positive, negative, none of that. God take all shapes and forms. All those is shapes and forms, just in higher densities. Y'all motherfuckers don't play with God. Y'all don't be knowing where y'all at to know when y'all playing or not. I'm trying to let y'all know when you're playing. You know when you're reaching a boundary, restriction, or limit. You got them hard-headed ass motherfuckers who reach a boundary and limit, and instead of using the gift that God gave you and coming up with a strategic or coming up with a way that you can extend the parameter that'll benefit you, you like, oh nah. That wasn't nothing. I'm gonna do that again. Get your ass to dissipate it. Motherfucker. Calm down. And that goes for everything. Scientists, you try to overdo engineering and make all these new fucking bombs, but calm down. You explode your fucking self. Calm the fuck down. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn. Air.